So, Women's Euros gets underway this evening, and here to look ahead to it, look at England's chances, is an England legend, 117 caps for her country. It's Kelly Smith. Hi, Kelly.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, we're good.
Good,
we're good, thank you. Before we come on to the European Championships, let's talk a little bit about the research that you've been involved in with EE. I said it's a bit of a recurring theme today, getting young people involved in the sport, and the research says that getting involved in football and participating has been good for girls' mental health.
Yes, that's right. 93% of girls who are involved in football, through the research that you have done, report feeling more confident. And also 72% said that they feel equipped to cope with negative pressures of social media. And being online can be challenging for teenagers. So these figures are really improving, and good to see because, you know, like we know, so I've got two young kids. I'm a little bit worried about them being on social media. And for me, confidence and resilience is what needs to be taught at a very young age, and certainly this campaign shows that.
I wonder if it's also a fitness thing, and that sort of endorphin rush you get when you're a little bit fitter, and those sort of happy hormones that must feed into it.
Yeah, being outside, playing, kicking a ball with your friends, working towards a common goal of trying to win, wins and losses, the emotions of it, the camaraderie that you have with your team. I think football is the ultimate sport, the best sport in the world for me, and it's certainly helped me growing up. I wasn't the most confident young girl growing up, but playing football gave me confidence. It made me resilient because I was kicked off of two boys' teams for being the best player, for being a girl. So yeah, if I didn't have football, I wouldn't have been where I wouldn't have played for England and Arsenal and reached their levels. Had that confidence, should I say.
Yeah.
That's true. There's still work to be done, though. I was reading a survey this morning. It says only 7% of women after a certain age play team sports. There's a big, you probably know this, a big drop-off range, big drop-out range. And that's something we need to address, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's not a high enough number. Like we just talked about, being outside, getting the endorphins going is so good for you mentally. You feel physically good when you work out, whether it's at the gym, whether it's a team sport, whether it's netball, hockey, whatever it is. I think playing sports builds your confidence. It makes you feel better.
I was going to say, Kelly, you must have been touched last week. Ian Wright was asked about why he was so interested in women's football and why he'd got so into it. And he put it down to you, watching you, which I thought was a really nice thing for him to say.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Saw him a couple of days ago at a TV gig that we were both doing. He's always been an idol of mine, and I always looked up to him because of his energy, his enthusiasm. He's always been a big supporter of women's football. Way back when I was at Arsenal, he would know players before my generation: Hope Powell, Marianne Spacey, Brenda Sampari. He was in tune with it, and he's just been such an advocate for women's football all across the board, and I can't speak highly enough of him. And he's a good friend of mine now. It's funny because he was my idol, and now he's my mate. He calls me Kels. No one in the world calls me Kels. Only people call me Kels.
He's a lovely guy. Really, we used to work here, of course. He's a terrific bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how are we feeling, Kelly, going into this from an England point of view?
I feel very confident. I know everyone's talking about the two players retiring, Mary Earps and Fran Kirby, and then the loss of Millie Bright. But I think that a good addition to the teams are Alex Greenwood, who's back from injury, Lauren Hemp, and also Lauren James. Look at the positives. Yes, they haven't had the most successful build-up in terms of losses, but they beat Jamaica. I know it's a lower international side, no disrespect to them, but we had 6 different goal scorers. I was up at St George's Park last week watching them train, had lunch with the players, seemed very relaxed, very calm. The younger players have settled in, embedded them in. It seems like a good buzz around the team. They're in Switzerland now, and that's where they wanted to be. Get your feet on the country that you're playing in, and then get your surroundings, get your hotel room, know your training pitch, get the tactics. This week, I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of video in the team meetings, individual and tactically as group unit training. And yeah, look ahead to the big game on Saturday against France.
The atmosphere should be great. The advanced ticket sales are really remarkable for this tournament.
You said they're better than they were in
Switzerland
England.
have really embraced this tournament, which is a good sign, I think.
Yeah, and especially how it's so expensive out there. I know a lot of the families were struggling financially to get themselves out there. So it is an expensive country, and it's so pleasing to see that the ticket sales are really good. Hopefully, most stadiums will be sold out. We get to watch it back here on our terrestrial TV stations. Just hoping that England can get that first win. That's so vital for me against France. France are a good side. I think England have a really tough group, but look, all eyes on that first game against France, who are equally as good as England.
They're in a bit of a transitional period. Uma was telling us yesterday, who's gone off, one of our team, Uma Gurav, was saying that the manager's gone in, has got ideas of their own, and has jettisoned some pretty big players. So it's interesting times for France. It's not a settled situation for them, is it?
No, it's not. And any time France are in a Euros or a World Cup or an Olympics, they're always tipped to potentially get to the final, and they've always had that choke. They've always choked, and they've been labelled that over the last 4 or 5 tournaments. Probably should have done better than they have. And I think those players now in this environment are tired of that label. So that's an added incentive for them to really do well this tournament. They've got that in, that tag that they want to get rid of.
Few people have been saying don't write off the Germans, but we say that before every tournament. But everybody's talking about Spain, etc. as the biggest worry from an England point of view. But we know what it's like when we play Germany. It's always tough, and they're going to be pretty dangerous as well, aren't they?
They are. They're always a top nation at every tournament. They are so difficult to beat, so tactically well trained. And Spain, they've got 2 of the best players in the world in Putellas and Bonmati. I know she's just coming out of hospital with meningitis, but if she can be fit, she is, if not the best player in the world. So good technically, makes that team tick. I think this is going to be the best Euros ever. Every year I say that, every couple of years I say that, because the game advances and grows every year. So yeah, there's 4 teams that potentially could win it for me: Germany, England, Spain and France.
Okay, but you're going to go for England, I take it.
I think I have to. I've been, like I said, I was in camp. I know the players, especially the Arsenal players, have a connection with them there. They seem focused, ready, driven. And Lauren James is a key for me. Yeah. I know she's not going to start any game probably because of the lack of minutes and time for Chelsea, but she looks sharp, she looks hungry, and she looked good against Jamaica. And if you get her on the ball in threatening spaces around the box, she's got an inch perfect pass that can deliver and even come up with a goal herself.
Brilliant. Kelly, good to talk to you. Enjoy the tournament.
Thank you, guys.
Kelly Smith, their England legend. Good to hear her on confident mood around England, having been in the camp. We'll kick off our coverage tonight with the hosts. It's not the 2 teams, not the hosts in the first match tonight. It's Iceland-Finland, but 8 o'clock, Switzerland v Norway. That's live on talkSPORT. Hosts in action for the first time. And Norway, Gemma Granger, I think it's the name of the only English coach in the tournament. She's the Norway coach. Okay. So, her team in action this evening. And Norway, generally been over the years a good side. Yeah, previous World Cup winners.